aka Geeks.
Hey everybody, welcome to AKA Geeks and our movie review group discussion. It is the Lonesome Twosome. We got Brenden here with me. Say hello, Brenden.
Hello, Brenden.
And we watched Suicide Squad this weekend, and we wanted to, discuss it, break it down a little bit. This is gonna have spoilers in it, so be aware of that. Brenden, let's start with a little plot summary from IMDb. Secret government agency recruits a group of imprisoned supervillains to execute dangerous Black Ops missions in exchange for clemency, which inevitably leads to chaos. Brenden.
Yes.
Give me your positives about this movie. What did you like?
I loved Jared Leto's Joker. I take back anything negative I may or may not have said about the way he looked. With the character that he went for, it works. And every time that he was on the screen, I was terrified. He was scary. He was a scary dude.
You didn't know what was going to happen, right?
Yeah, like, it took me a second to, again, like we mentioned, if you don't want to get spoiled, go see it, then come back and listen. But that scene where Common's character came in, and, like, all he did was pay Harley a compliment, and, I don't want to say in that type of character's way, because all he said was, I'm jealous, you got a bad bitch. And he just fucking snapped. And
he started playing mind games with him too.
Yeah, he was basically, you know what? It kind of looked like, and I remember him saying that he watched a lot of like violent stuff to like get into the mood, and like it felt like he was like lion or like a some kind of predator, like just toying with their food before they kill it.
Yeah,
he knew from the moment he heard it, he was going to kill him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
He was going to fuck with him a little bit first and show him his mistake in a very hardcore way before he killed him. So, and that just like set the tone. He's probably my number one positive. Oh, I want to hear yours. I figured
Joker was good. I felt like his relationship with Harley over the course of the film, I liked the way that their relationship went. It did paint her as kind of the one that was falling for him more so than he felt for her. But at the end, in that one scene where she goes into the acid or the chemicals, he fell for her just as much because he went in to save her, because he realized, like, damn, this is the chick that's going to be ride or die. And their relationship was awesome. I like that. You can even see this in the trailers. The main characters of this film are Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, Will Smith's Deadshot, and Amanda Waller, Viola Davis. Yeah, those three characters had the strongest arcs in the film, which I felt were very well done. I understood Will Smith's pain and his wanting to be there for his daughter. And at the beginning, when she kind of talks to him about what he does, he doesn't want to show her or tell her exactly, but she knows and she can see it. And she still loves him for it, and see how much he responds to it. I felt that connection there. And I felt the connection with Harley and the Joker. And I felt Margot Robbie's character, even though she's a little off kilter, she still thought things out, and she still had a plan when, things were going crazy, by evidence of the last part of the film. And then Amanda Waller she is a cold, heartless bitch. Cold, heartless bitch. She killed FBI agents in cold blood. And it's like, holy cow, this woman is like, take no prisoners, man.
Yeah.
Take no prisoners. I do think, though, Margot Robbie stood out. The way she portrayed Harley Quinn was awesome. And if Lynn was here with us today, it'd be awesome to talk to him about how they actually did some little throwbacks to her wearing the original suit. And remember in the montage? Yeah. As well as when they got all their stuff back, she had the option of wearing it. She was looking at, should I wear this or not? How did you feel about the action as a whole? Does that fall under good stuff or bad stuff for you?
For the most part, it fell under good stuff. Actually, one thing I was thinking about that you touched on was their relationship. And I had a bunch of people that I knew complain. They're like, oh, it's not the typical, Joker-Harley relationship. And I'm like, why? Because he didn't slap her around and treat her like garbage? They're like, yeah, that's how he does it. There is no friggin' way in this day and age that you could get away with that. Have him slapping her around and, like, put out a wristband that says relationship goals like they're doing. They went with more of, like, a Bonnie and Clyde type thing.
Yeah, I definitely got that.
They're doing really bad stuff, but they clearly care. I mean, he saved her at the end. He let he pushed her out of the helicopter when it crashed.
Yeah.
He felt there wasn't enough time for both of them, so he tried to save her.
Didn't he say go? Or
He said let's go.
okay.
And so he made her think that he was going with her. Now I don't know, maybe he knew he wasn't going to die, or he didn't care, or he was just like, you know what, I got to take care of what's on the plane, or I don't know. Because I was watching it with Kelsey, and that scene where after he pushed her, he went to go walk away, and then he was like, oh god damn it, she frustrates me. And then he turned around and then jumped in. I'm like, I get that.
That's one of those moments where he wants to. It's kind of like, he's Joker. He's the big bad. In terms of popularity, he's the big bad of everything in DC, in my opinion.
You notice that when they start introducing the characters, that Harley's his queen, and you don't fuck with the queen. That's what he was all about. If you disrespected him, you had a chance to make it right or take care of it.
Get away with it.
Like, that he knew what that guard was doing because he's got eyes and ears everywhere. I mean, all he did was call her a bad bitch, which in that context was a compliment. He took that as a sign of disrespect and straight up mopped him. It was very interesting that, like, yes, he's the boss, but he does everything in the back of his head for her.
Yeah, it's like he's the big boss, the most popular dude, the badass of everything, but even then that's just kind of a front because she's actually at the core of his being almost. It's a good relationship. You mentioned something about when he found the guard, Griggs. Ike Barinholtz, I did not know he was in the film, and he did amazing. Some of the stuff that he did in the prison was really good stuff, really good comedic pieces, especially when he goes to talk to Harley Quinn, and he's like, oh, you're nasty, you're good, or what? She's like, and then she licks the pole, and then the part with Deadshot where he has the gun pointing at his head, he's like, oh shoot, I knew this was gonna happen.
The only thing about that I didn't like was he was like, so we're good, right? And she was like, you're so screwed. And he's like, what do you mean by that? If he was screwed, I kind of wanted to see why he was screwed and like how he was gonna kill him. So maybe she was like, hey, this guy was hitting on me, and the Joker's like, I'll take care of it.
Well, a good way to wrap up that storyline that they could have done is at the end when, again, spoilers, the Joker breaks out Harley. They could have put in something right there where Joker gets Griggs and does something to him, maims him or something. It's PG-13, so maybe they didn't want to keep adding the deads.
So in terms of negatives, I think that was my one negative. You could tell there was a lot of stuff off screen.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to show that extra violence.
It's essentially like the Chitauri, so it's not a bad thing that you're killing them because they're faceless enemies. And he killed the humans and turned them into them off screen a while ago, so it's like it doesn't count against the rating of the film.
Yeah.
That is a negative for me in this aspect because it's one of those things where they could have totally done something different, and I don't make movies, so obviously I don't have an answer for it, but I think that they could have done something different than the faceless enemy. It's like almost inhuman to take away that humanization of it when they kill those faceless enemies.
Yeah.
What did you think about the dialogue, the script, and everything like that? Were you okay with how the movie was written and how the characters interacted with each other?
It could have been a little bit better. There was a lot of, I don't want to say the corny stuff, but there was a lot of, we're shoving this in because it's comic book lingo, I guess, which I didn't really think about until afterwards. I know he's a crocodile, but I kind of wanted to have subtitles for Killer Croc personally, because I couldn't understand what he said half the time.
Yeah, I think most of his stuff he said, I didn't understand. Two lines that I understood him say, referring to Amanda Waller, he said, I like her. And then I think at the end when they're in the bar, he says, I'm beautiful. And that's all I understood him. Most of it was kind of garbled.
The other thing that got me was the placement of the soundtrack. When that Eminem song came on, it came out of nowhere, and you're like, wait, what? And it was like, it popped. It didn't fade in or anything like that. It was just, there it is, and then it's gone. It didn't really need music right there, but okay.
Yeah, that Eminem song stood out to me a lot.
The real big one that I was just like, okay.
The rest of the songs worked well.
One other thing that got me was there was definitely the focus on certain characters. Some of the characters really didn't get big background. Like, all they said was, Batman chased Killer Croc out of Gotham, and they didn't show it or expand on it. All they said was he got him out. I mean, Captain Boomerang kind of got one. Of course, Slipknot got nothing because they killed him. And I said this before, that a little bit of that problem, the too much stuff going on. I completely agree with people saying the tone jumped all over the place. I didn't notice that just because when you show background, it's going to be different from what the main movie is going on. I had no freaking clue Enchantress was going to be the bad guy.
Neither did I. Here's here's the thing. I read a plot summary right after watching the film, and it was a little different than the one I had on IMDb. And what they changed to it, what they had on it previously said, brings this imprisoned supervillains together to stop a dangerous enemy. And I was thinking of it like, that plot summary is erroneous because that dangerous enemy didn't exist until they came together. I didn't expect Enchantress to be the bad guy because I thought Enchantress was going to be on their team.
Yeah.
So it was that surprised me. I don't know if that was a good surprise or bad surprise. Speaking of Enchantress, for most of the movie, I was totally down with the CGI, whatever it was. El Diablo, his fire, that looked great coming out of his hands. But Enchantress, when she finally got her heart, was it just me or did that CGI look a little cheap?
I actually thought she looked fine. It was that pillar that she was creating, that whole thing. The internal shot inside, it looked good, but the outside, it looked cheap to me. I agree with you on the outside. The beam in the sky with all the trash floating around, that felt cheap to me. I thought she looked great.
So we're a little opposite on there because I thought the beam reminded me first off of Fantastic Four, and then I didn't have an issue. Well, actually, I'll take that back. I had an issue when they showed some of the materials rolling into the beam. You're like, what the heck kind of material is that? It looks like total CGI. And then I just wasn't a fan of how they did Enchantress's face, which is Kara, how do you say her last name? She was in Paper Towns. Devine?
I have no
I'm never going to be able to say her name. I could see the outline of her face, which was put on her body, and I thought it could have used more work. The tone you mentioned, what do you mean by the tone jumping all over the place?
People were saying that, like, the mood of the film changed a bunch. See, I didn't get a lot of that. I mean, a lot of the funny moments were already in the trailer. It wasn't like they went out of their way to make a joke. To me, it felt organic. Those characters, they're bad guys, they're crazy, and they say weird shit, and sometimes it's funny. I mean, even Batman cracks jokes.
Yeah. The thing about the tone, for me, I get that, but overall, for me, the setting was dark, and this is not going to turn out well, and that was the setting. But, I mean, you got Harley Quinn, you got Boomerang, you got these people that are off the cuff. They're not in their right mind, so I understood why Boomerang's asking Katana out in the middle of a fight.
He doesn't want to be there.
Yeah, this is how he's coping with it, I bet. That's probably one of his coping mechanisms. Harley Quinn is just out there, She says things that were like, in the movie, her character says things that are super sweet and innocent and seem like they're from her heart. And then she'll say something that's totally shrouded in vague terms that might end up being, however you answer this, I might shoot you. So they're definitely out their mind. For me, I was okay with the tone as well. I thought that for the most part, I liked the action scenes, but I actually enjoyed some of the character moments quite a bit when you started seeing how some of these characters developed. If you really put it all together, it was like 4 or 5 origin stories in one,
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I thought they did
awesome.
The bar scene?
Yeah.
When Jay Hernandez talks about his family, right?
Yeah.
That was like 3 minutes. And it told a story, it showed us something, and it totally made me like feel for him as a character and understand his plight and why he acts the way he acts right now and why he's scared and he's like heartbroken. Nothing he ever does can ever fix that for him.
Yep.
I totally connected with the characters. The movie's not perfect by any means. I noticed in this one, and I don't know if you noticed it too, our friend Eddie said like he didn't like, what movie was it that he said there was always jump cuts? We asked him to explain it. In this one, I felt like that kind of continued. There were a lot of jump cuts. I felt. But that they blended the jump cuts okay because of the music. Ghostbusters was the movie he said there's jump cuts. In this one, I felt like they were easily explainable because the music carried things over. I felt okay with it. I didn't mind the flashbacks. I understood the flashbacks. The flashbacks happened at moments when you could tell that something was going to happen in that character's development.
Yeah. One thing that I noticed that I thought was interesting, the Flash is already established superhero. Like, he has his suit. He's fighting crime. Because, in the Justice League trailer that he already had his suit and everything. So it's nice to see. It definitely makes me more excited for the solo Batman film because they did a good job with these characters. One character that actually felt was kind of useless was Katana.
She was just a bodyguard.
She really didn't bodyguard him very well. It was the other guys that saved him every time that the guys grabbed him. Katana didn't do shit.
That makes me wonder, the military, they have her there for a reason, but why did she agree to be there?
Yeah,
right? That's probably the one thing I will say that people are complaining about, that I will agree with Katana's character. With Boomerang, he didn't want to be there, but he was there, and he did what he had to do. He helped, and he used his gadgets, and all the other ones made the best of a bad situation. I mean, her sword came into play at one point, which was very helpful.
Yeah, at the end,
But you're right about that. Now that you mention it, I see that too.
And the one that got me, I was trying to figure out the whole time I was watching it, was Scott Eastwood's character, they were very secretive about what he played. He
He's just
was nobody important. He was just Rick Flagg's friend.
And then he disappeared for a while at the end. Then he came back. No. He disappeared before that. Then he came back when they were ready to place the bomb, remember?
Well, in the movie, they split up and said you had to do that. So it made sense why he disappeared. But why didn't Croc set the bomb? Croc could have survived that, probably.
Well, Croc got held up by the faceless enemy.
Oh, that's right, huh?
They grabbed him and they pulled him back.
Why make a big deal about keeping his character secret and not having anybody important? You could have just been like, yep, he's a soldier.
And did you catch his name?
Nobody cares.
Scott Eastwood, right? He was playing Lieutenant GQ Edwards.
I have a feeling he's not dead.
He has to be dead. That bomb blew up right above his head.
Well, not if he's a metahuman.
Is he a metahuman? Did they say he was a metahuman?
No. But it doesn't mean he's not.
And we didn't see a body. We didn't see a body for El Diablo, so everybody could still be alive. I've heard comparisons of this to Guardians of the Galaxy, to Deadpool because of Deadshot. I will say
They both had dead in the name.
Deadpool is its own movie, no similarities. Deadshot's a totally different character. The Guardians of the Galaxy people try to make that comparison. I'm not down with that either, just because they have eccentric music placed throughout the movie. Guardians of the Galaxy used that music definitely more to move the story forward with the building of Peter Quill's character, versus this music was more to amp the situation and get you feeling in the movie, right?
Yeah, the music was his character. It kind of like defined him.
And in this one, it was more so to bring you in. That's what I felt. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are comparing these things, and I don't think it's right. I think there's so much negativity towards this stuff, and people are going in with a mind filled with all this crap, like we talked about on the podcast last week, and not looking at it for what it is with an open mind. Did you have anything else? Anything you want to touch on, Brenden?
It made me want a Deadshot solo film.
Before he's caught? Like
no,
back?
You could do it after. You could do it after. Have him break out, or have him go on another mission that only he can do. But what that makes me more excited for, like I said, is the Batman film, because Affleck mentioned that he's like, I want to have as much villains in my film as possible. The rumor is that it's going to take place in Arkham Asylum, kind of like the game, where Joker's going to essentially break in and take over. And so you'll see a lot of the bad guys. They won't necessarily tag him along. It'll be more it could totally be like a psychological thriller in Arkham Asylum with Batman and those characters. I'm really interested to see how Leto's Joker takes on Batman.
I want to see on Jared Leto's. I really want to see where he comes from.
Well, he comes from the chemicals. I would assume they're going to go off of the... Oh, you know what? One thing I noticed, did you notice that when they did the intro under Harley Quinn's, it said assisted in the murder of Robin?
Oh, I missed that?
Yeah, it said assisted in the murder of Robin.
Okay. So, what I was talking about, what I want to see where Joker comes from, because David Ayer said that he's not Jason Todd. He said that Joker is not Jason Todd. So that's cool, that's fine. But I still want to... I would like to know if he's just some gangster dude that got in these chemicals and jacked him up and now he's off his rocker, or did he come from a closer connection to Batman?
Maybe he's former Nightwing. Maybe Nightwing got messed up.
Because I totally think that joke in Batman vs. Superman, the joke's on you, Batman, ha ha ha. I don't know. What does that mean? What part of the joke? Is he just using his name in the Joker in the joke? Or is there something that happened?
Maybe the whole, torturing Jason Todd thing already happened and that's what it was.
It's interesting. I definitely want to see more about the Joker and where he came from.
Yeah, I would love to see a more expanded backstory in the solo film. That'd
be cool. And if they worked with flashbacks in the Batman film, and they kind of explain that they have a history and show maybe at certain points where they do flashbacks to show you that they've had numerous encounters. This movie opens up a lot of possibilities, I think, and for all of its shortcomings, it also has a lot of positive out of it, I think. Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice, they're setup movies, they're trying to expand it. This one did that without feeling like those other films where they failed.
I was happy that I didn't have to wait 2 hours to see a fight.
On that point, I'll say this. How long was the film? It felt like it was about an hour 30 to hour 40 minutes.
No, it was 2 hours.
Was it? Okay, then that was a good 2 hours then. I thought the pacing was great.
I wasn't bored.
No, neither was I. I was pretty... 2 hours and 3 minutes, yeah. I was pretty happy with the pacing of the film then. I got out of it and I was like, man, that was so I was really happy with that. Let's go into our overall thought, Brenden, and what do you recommend and what grade?
Overall, I enjoyed it. Of course, there's things that you can definitely see that they changed the way they shot it because of Batman vs. Superman. I enjoyed it overall. It was definitely good popcorn flick. It was nice to see those characters on screen. It was nice to see, they are pretty important in that universe. I would like to see if they do a Suicide Squad 2, less characters. Overall, I will admit is a little bit biased because of my feelings on Joker and Harley Quinn. I'd give it a B plus, very, very teetering on an A minus, just because I didn't get to see as much Joker as they insinuated that the trailers, said it would have, because it made it seem like he was going to be in it big time. But yeah, I would say B plus overall for me.
I definitely had good time with this movie. It was fun. I enjoyed it. So I definitely had some issues with some small things in the film. But overall, I came out of this like really happy, looking forward to whatever DCEU is going to come out with. I enjoyed it enough to come out looking forward to what's coming down the pipe. So for me, I'm giving this a B minus. Something I'm definitely going to put in my collection after it comes out on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, I'm buying the shit out of the DVD when it comes out.
Yeah. So Brenden, give us some goodbyes. Tell the fans where they can find you.
You can find me obviously at Twitter on OverseerBall69. You can find all of us at our AKA Geeks Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, other stuff, the blog. I know we have that. Skywriting, smoke signals, that kind of shit.
The other things you can find us on are Google Play, iTunes, and iHeartRadio with the podcast, the weekly podcast. That's the thing you guys want to get to, but all the other things as well that Brenden mentioned. You can find me on Twitter, CalimanSwish, and check us out for all of our upcoming other videos that we have coming out this week. We're gonna have another group movie of the week that's coming out shortly, another individual movie of the week, and our podcast this week, of course, which everything looks like it's gonna be fun. So catch us on all those channels and pages. And for today, for this video, we thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
AKA Geeks.